Dr. Snedeker podcast, where I, your intrepid captain on this ship that is this podcast, will take you into uncharted waters. Or maybe we'll just, talk about random stuff. But anyway, I won't waste your time. You have so many things to do and so many places you could be. So first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast, this thing that chronicles my life in some aspects. And I appreciate that I can't assume that you appreciate, I guess. I appreciate you tuning in. So, let's get chatting about stuff, and we'll let you go on your way. How about that? How does that sound? Does that sound nice? Nice and calm. So, what are we talking about today? You might wonder. You might sit there, lying awake at night, just like, I wonder what Dr. Snedeker is going to talk about on Sunday. And then your partner leans over and is like, who's Dr. Snedeker? And then you're like, I don't know. I've actually never heard that name before. Frankly, I don't know where this came from. I mean, I've been doing the research of shared consciousness, and I think I tapped into the stream of everyone's consciousness. It was like a super intelligent highway where everything was just glistening. It was beautiful. It was transcendent. You could see all of time and space threading together in a big network of shared experiences and past events and current procedures and happenings. It's amazing. It's so beautiful. What do we do with it? I don't know. Maybe we have to just look up Dr. Snedeker and see who he is and what he's doing and where he likes to go. He's out there somewhere. Is he over there? I only have two directions I can look. Diagonal to the left and up, and diagonal to the right and up. And he's at neither spot. Nor is he right in front of me. We'll find him. I swear to you, we'll find him. That's so good to hear, because it was such a vivid dream, and just seeing so many colors. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, Roger. Thank you. That was Roger, an unnamed female protagonist, reacting to a dream. But hopefully, you're all doing well. Hopefully, you are, wherever you happen to be tuning in, listening, that you're getting ready for summer. It's going to be a different summer than last year, and I'm ready for it. I've talked about it the past couple weeks. It's really hot today. I'm actually recording this much earlier than I normally would. Usually, I record it the Monday after an episode airs. But this week, I'm going to be in the UP on a trip with my group Earth Radio. It's kind of a mixed bag of things. We'll probably do some hiking that I'll be panting and sweating and dying. But it's progress. Everything's progress. Everything's progress. Although I went to the doctor recently, and they have you step on the scale, and I was like, okay, I know I've lost some weight. I can feel it. I can see it. It's a more tangible thing this time. It's not like oops, I gained weight or lost weight. So I was like, it's gonna be different, but nope. I stepped on it, and I was like, this scale makes it look like I only lost 4 pounds. And I'm like, I swear I like my my intake is way down. Like it's much more focused. I'm not drinking as many sugary things. I don't know. It'll all click. Health is not. Health is such a weird thing. It's like music. Like music. Everyone has a different taste in music. Like let's use the intro to this song, for example. Some of you might be more attracted to, like, and you're flowing. Like very, very calming and expressive. Some of you might like, like something more funky. Some of you might like, it's the same progression, just different styles. But, people have their different opinions on that, and their different, subjectivity with it. That's where I'm going with this. Health is subjective or rather nuanced. Subjective means more like if you had a choice to follow certain advice. Nuanced is the better discussion because, people will tell you like, okay, just eat less, eat less salty things, eat less sugary things, eat less, processed foods, make things with like real fruits and vegetables, make things with real products, buy locally sourced, buy homemade, buy from direct from farmers, like buy from stores that source produce from the area. That's more consumer habits, I guess, than health. But one doctor will be like, well, it looks like you need this thing, and they do some tests, and then another doctor like does a different set of tests or a different set. It has a different metric of like giving advice, and they take in other considerations, and it's all like there's no right or wrong answer. In terms of positive advice, we'll say that. There's wrong answers when it's clearly negative. Like, I'm not going to say, like, hey, the only way to get healthy is you got to eat more mozzarella sticks because you're getting bread and cheese and the sauce is your vegetable. Like, you just got to get if you normally get a 4-piece, go for 6. If they have an 8-piece, get that. If there's a place that sells them and they're like that long, go there to get your mozzarella sticks. You'll get the most mozz for your dollar. But I always wonder about like, it's like, what is it? What the scales? They're all like my home scale will just be like, hey, you're making progress. Or not. It'll just read it. It's like it's off by like 8 pounds. So I like don't have exact metrics. So maybe I only did lose 4 pounds, and I just feel way better because I've built different habits. But I can tell I've lost more than a couple pounds. And weights, it's like saying like, oh, I enjoy this music because of it's in it's in a minor key, and it's like, well, minor keys are only one element of music. Like, you might like that song because of the harmony, the way the minor key is used. Maybe you like how it's used melodically, or maybe you like the progression. Maybe you like the mood, because like, this type of minor, it's like very strict minor, just like, then there's like the harmonic minor. Start to get with that major 7 in the minor key. That's another color. Maybe you smooth it out. Like very minor varies. Like all of that was C minor. It's just how you present it, and it had different progressions and feels and textures and colors. So weight is just one aspect of health, obviously. Because like the strong men that exist, they weigh more than a typical person, but they also build a lot of muscle mass. And someone could also be like an average body weight, but it doesn't indicate full health. Some people, it could be like a normal size, and you're like, oh, he chain smokes 80 packs a day, and you're like, that's not possible. It's clearly not possible. So, but all that to say, I'm gonna go on a hike. Go on some hikes. I have to make this video now, the day before episode 19 drops, because I'm literally gonna finish this video right now here at lovely Third Coast Recording Company, and then I'm going to drive maybe 10 minutes away to a venue and unload and set up all my gear early, and then go change, probably at the venue, but depending on how much time I have, I might just come back here because it's not that far away, and I still have a couple hours. But either way, this is the in between. As things open up, now I start to see the multitask Dutcher coming back. Before it was like I had multiple things that I would be focused on, but I wasn't trying to all right, I'm going to do this so that I can pre-plan for this, and then that'll free up, and I'll get there early, so that'll free up some time for me to move quick. Like everything's logistical when you're freelance. And even if on paper, you can kind of trace my earnings. You can kind of trace what I invest in for what I do. A lot of what I invest is time. Like when people ask me, it's like, well, how are you making a living as a musician? It's like, well, it fluctuates. You have to kind of trust yourself and where what skills you have. You can't just go into it with unrealistic expectations. You have to know what your product is. As a musician, the product can be, is it your original music? Is it a combination of that with covers so you can play longer sets? Is it something very niche? Is it something that you could play in a coffee shop? Is it something that's better in a rock club? Can it be performed outdoors? Do you have equipment? Do you know how to set up with that equipment? Do you need to bring people along? Everything is logistics. Everything. I can't tell you how many times people don't think about the logistics of a band. They just think they'll just set up and play. And it's all right, where's the power? Oh, we don't have... Ooh, that might be tricky. We don't really have power. And it's what do you mean you don't have power? You hired a band with and you're expecting a staged band with a PA for, in between the live band sets, there's going to be DJ'd music. And then you're also expecting some kind of light show or lights in, if it's an outdoor thing. And you're telling me you don't have power? I've played weddings where, because of the poor planning for something that's just so simple, sometimes it's so simple to just be the band probably needs more than one wall outlet to run their whole thing. And there's been times where I'm like, look, this isn't just like risking my equipment. This is like a liability for your business. If you have bad power and you're trying to just like overuse a bad power outlet, you could blow a circuit, you could cause an electrical fire. Like, this isn't just me being like, oh, this, I need perfect power because I'm the musician and the artist. I need my my own power source. I need my own transformer. I need my own things, and you are in the way of my genius. It's like, no, I just need power for for the electric keyboard that I play because I didn't bring a grand piano in my Buick. It's like, what do you think is good? Like, I say this knowing like today is when wedding season starts for me, so I'm just like, I'm bracing myself for like, all right, let's hope let's hope this is. I remember there was one wedding we did. It was probably 3 years ago. They did. They didn't have. They didn't have power. It was on the lawn of like a backyard property. It was near the water. So already it's like, okay, what part of this stretch of land is like not a swamp? Like, what is dry? What isn't soaked? You know? And like, how is loading going to work? Do we have to, like, I had to park and carry my stuff like down a hill. And like, and then some people were like, oh, well, they told us you could pull around. And then when they did that, they're like, that's only for catering. It's like, what do you mean that road's only for catering? That is, no, wrong. This road is now for everyone who's serving your special day. like we're able to make certain things work. But if things are unreasonable, if like no one's able to like, bend or flex on, like, there's that same wedding, the only way we had power was that someone in the band, or no, someone in the catering company, I think, brought the generator. They brought a generator. And that was to like, run their fridges and like other equipment and stuff. And now we're like, hey, do you have an extra line? And we're like, daisy chaining extension cords. We're like trying to like keep it out of the foot traffic. And there's probably 4 separate times where like somebody's uncle tripped over the extension cord, unplugged the whole thing. And to the layman, it's like, oh, the sound went away. Where's the, like, it's your play like, look at Ted, the handsome, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, she walking, and then you're like, dong it, and it just like, poof, like it just all shuts off. And then usually what happens is not everyone sees it happen. So it's like some people who are like, oh, what happened with the band? Like the band, they were just playing and then they stopped. Like, why'd they stop? They all look confused. Maybe I should be confused too. Hey, Bill, what's going on? This band was just playing music and now they're not playing music. Am I missing something? Didn't you hire them to play music? I'll go check it out. Hey guys, what's up? Why'd you stop? 'Cause your stupid uncle tripped over the power cord again and shut off everything. Why is everything plugged into one outlet? 'Cause you're stupid and you don't think about logistics. Phil? Or what did I give his name? Bill? Was his name Bill? I don't know. Either way, I'm upset. And it happened 3 different times. Every time that happens, think of it this way. Every time that happens, it's equipment popping. It's loud bursts of frequencies hitting the PA all at once. If you were to look at a mixer when this happens, it just clips and then it stops. It's just a clipping sound to have everything just shut off. And clipping isn't good, long term for speakers. It degrades, the quality of the speaker faster That's why, like, in high school, when you cranked your, 15-watt practice amp, something eventually, like, went weird or broke, or, something internally was destroyed. Or recently, in Earth Radio rehearsal, something with Justin's active bass pickups blew my my little keyboard amp. And we had done it before without that happening, but there was always a chance. When you're dealing with like active pickups that are going to put out a higher current, and you're in a building with like questionable power, like something's going to happen. And then after, back to this wedding, like after all this happened, it's like, okay, we need to keep playing though. Like, this is the cocktail hour, and we have 3 sets of music that's dance music. You need to help us figure out some solid, stable power. I can't tell you how many times, like, power, it's so simple, and it's the thing that people don't look at. It's like they book a wedding in the woods, and you're like, okay, they have a venue. It's like a barn. I wonder if it, is it, like in the family? Is it a barn that just exists? Like, what is the state of this barn? And then is it like, oh, it's the barn at Bay Village, like the barn is a concept venue within like a larger umbrella, and there's plenty of money and infrastructure put into it, and it's easier. But people just don't think about the logistics of like, here's I keep saying this. This is my PSA to everyone out there. You're thinking of an event that involves musicians. You're thinking of this. You're going, I want to have music. Here's what that entails. I don't think that chord fits the mood of this. This works. So you have to, think about like if you were the musician, you have to load in. Where are you loading in? Is it, a dirt path into the woods? Is it a concrete driveway where the catering's also loading in? Are there stairs? Is there an elevator? Tell the musicians the easiest way to get their stuff out of their car and get parked. That saves time. It saves cluttering a parking lot for when the other guests arrive. If it's at a hotel, it saves clutter at the valet if you have to load in through the front. You also need to think of like what is the stage? Is it a chunk of the room that's kind of like loosely bordered by PA equipment? Do we define it? Is it already predefined? Is it like, well, this is the only raised platform we have, so you gotta fit this 10-piece band somehow? Where's power? I mentioned that a bunch. Is it right near the stage? Is it built into the stage? Is it part of the building? How old's the building? How old's the power? How many outlets are there? Do you have extension cords, surge protectors? Like, I bring extra things because every time I've done it, it's like, oh, well, power's, down the block. And you're like, what? I don't have that long a cable. Oh, I have 100 feet. We just add, Or if it's outdoors and there's no easy power, like, find a way to get easy power. Well, we don't want the noise. Generators are so loud, and we don't want a generator. Well, then think of that. Dude, you hired a wedding planner. They probably have solutions. With the gas generator's just so loud, and we don't want it, but we also want the wedding to take place in the sky. We were hoping that we could, we're devout Greek mythos worshippers, and we were hoping that an offering to Zeus in the morning would allow us to get enough lightning to power the band in the sky. So don't overlook details. Where are the musicians sitting when they're not playing? Is there a musician's table? Is it outside? Is it inside? Is it in a different room? Is it in the same room? Are all the seats labeled? Like, you know, little things. Or if you just put band. It's like, okay, there's 10 of you. Here's the band table. What else? Know that a lot of what goes into a wedding band isn't flexibility with the set list. If you request something that the band doesn't know, it usually can end up on a DJ list. So be prepared to have that. Unless you request anything in advance, and then it gets added to the set list, and there's plenty of time for people to get organized. All right, one more point. Just, you know, the biggest thing, ask someone who you know works doing music stuff. I do consultations all the time. I actually have through my Patreon, patreon.com/Snedeker, link in the description. I do, you know, if you have a half hour of time and you need consultation, you can pay me using Patreon. You sign up for that month, check out all the other content that comes out early, see if you dig supporting in this way. See if you enjoy the consultation. Maybe you know, keep your subscription. And you just check in once a month and all that with an event or with things you're planning. I've done that for venues. You know, I try to be as thorough as I can. I just did that for some consulting at the Muskegon Arena. They're thinking about doing music, so I walked the space with one of the guys who works, or I think he works with the soccer team that plays out of Muskegon, the indoor soccer league. But, you know, you reach out to someone like me if you want. You got questions, you're planning a birthday, you're planning a wedding, you're planning whatever. What does live music look like? You're going to hire a solo act? Do you want someone more entertaining or artistic? Do you want someone more, you know, electroacoustic, or do you want it all to be like, you know, folk instruments? Do you want vocals or do you want instrumental? Do you want background music or do you want dance music or live music? Do you want someone to DJ or do you want a live band? Do you want, like, the wants? You know what you want. Most people who plan weddings are like, I want this. I want white doves. And, like, there's a whole show called Mortgage or Marriage, and the premise is two people who are like in the top of their fields. Like, this one lady's like one of the like most sought after realtors, and then the other lady's like one of the best wedding planners. And you know, these couples, each episode, I haven't watched it, I've seen breakdowns of the show. Couples will get offers from each person, and it's either for like, this is your dream home that fits your budget, or this is your dream wedding that fits your budget. It's like, you want to ride in on a stallion on the beach, you want to skydive into the wedding party, you want to ride away on a yacht. Like, they know how to make that happen. They know what's up, and they get a choice after each offer is presented. And guess which ones they picked every single time? It was the wedding. So if that says enough. People love weddings, and I'm going to be doing a lot of them this summer, because in a dystopian nightmare where everything that is afforded to most working musicians has all but dried up or needs to be replenished by thousands of combined hours of manual labor, computer labor, all the planning and scheduling and all of that. As that all still is up in the air, there's one constant. Somewhere out there, someone just proposed. It's their special day. They're about to get married, and they need a band. And I might be in that band. So, that's just how it is. Weddings will always exist. There's a whole industry. But thank you for joining me today. I have to run and do the wedding thing today. And I get rewarded tomorrow with a long car ride. But I'm ready for Gustafson's fish. I'm ready for I don't know. I would say I can cheat a little bit with my thing, but everyone in the band likes to cook very healthy meals that are also delicious, so I'm not gonna splurge too much. I could. But this is the outro, believe it or not. The podcast is winding down, and here I am starting another topic. Not very professional, but I appreciate you for checking this out. And if you like what you heard today, give it a little like. Give it a subscribe. Subscribe. Can you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Tell your friends. Share it. You can also go to DutcherSnedeker.com to see what I'm up to all over the internet. Patreon, I mentioned. You'll see in the credits there's like a little body started. I've been doing the Patreon thing since December, still obviously growing it, learning a lot. But join us over there. You never know what was going to pop up there, aside from new episodes and exclusive merch and the ability to hire me for different services that I do as a musician. So, I wish you all a wonderful day. Enjoy the nice weather that's coming our way. Be safe, and we'll see you next time on the Dutcher Snedeker podcast. Baby, in the podcast world. That's my name, and this is the podcast. See you next week.